yeah. Just went live and I hit the go live button and realized, oh shit, I gotta turn all these fans off. Because y'all, it gets hot in Georgia. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. We're gonna talk about the Kamala crash today because please believe it is all her fault. It really is. Well, it's complicated, but yeah, it's kind of her fault. Let's do this. And good morning. Oh, wow. No, I might have to work on where that microphone belongs. Maybe I need to slide it that way. That way? Nope, that way. But anyway, this morning I'll just sit over here. So, yeah. In the news right now. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in yesterday. I always enjoy the shows where we get the special guest on, especially when it's an old friend like Mario, who God I've known for almost 20 years now. Which, hey Mario, if you're listening, holy shit. Oh, anyway. So the stock market crashed yesterday. Interesting times. And of course, one of the first reactions is we've got the Fed coming out like, okay, we're going to lower interest rates to restore confidence. Well, let's be clear about what happened. Last week, we were informed that Kamala Harris is going to be the Democrat nominee. We were informed that she's suddenly got a whole bunch of money, and we know that the money is illegitimate. We know that the money is it's bad money. I'm not going to go into all the Act Blue stuff today, but so you guys know, just for there are two major sources for the illegitimate money that is being reported to inflate Kamala's prospects, right? They're telling you she's raised a couple $100 million at this point. And that money's coming from two places. It's coming from the Biden war chest, which she's not allowed to use because she is not Joe Biden. And that's already being argued in the courts. And the law is pretty clear on that. If she wants to use the money that was donated by Biden's donors, it has to be refunded to them, and then they have to donate it to a different campaign because it's a different organization. The only way that changes is if Biden either is removed from office by the 25th Amendment, or if he dies in office. And frankly, the law is a little unclear on it in this particular case, because both of those circumstances, the way the law reads, assume that he's the nominee, right? So you've got, let's say, for example, you've still got Joe Biden as the nominee and you've got Kamala as the VP on the same ticket, and he dies in office or is removed by the 25th Amendment after he's been nominated and she's the VP, right? Then it's treated as if the campaign is just going forward and they've changed the candidate because this one went away completely. That's not what happened here. Joe Biden is still legally, technically the president. He hasn't been removed from office. He hasn't died in office. Instead, effectively what happened is he lost the nomination, right? And this is a little off topic, but it's only kind of. So Biden lost, effectively he lost the primary. Because even though he was the presumptive nominee for most of the year, believe it or not, there was a primary process. And I know a lot of people didn't notice it happening, but literally millions of Democrats voted for Joe Biden. And if I'm being fair, there were probably quite a few Republicans in districts where it's an open primary that voted for Joe Biden over his couple of opponents. Other than RFK Jr., I can't even remember who any of them were. They were such flash in the pan, panty waist, useless little shits. But there was, in fact, a primary. Joe Biden was selected through the primary process to be the nominee, but he hadn't been confirmed as the nominee. That happens at the convention, which is coming up. And then last week we were informed that he will no longer seek the nomination. He was obviously bullied out of the position, and it was handed to Kamala. So let's be very clear. One of the major factors in why the stock market, the global markets, just crashed yesterday. And guys, this isn't over, right? Okay, I don't have any Series 6, Series 7. I'm not even a licensed insurance broker anymore. I am not a fiduciary. This is not, none of this should be taken as financial advice. But I'm going to speculate. I'm going to make some predictions based on my professional analytical capacity as, an old spook. Sometimes the writing just happens to be on the wall. And if it's in one of 6 convenient languages, then I'll tell you what it says. But Kamala has, this is a major factor in why the market crashed yesterday. The entire global market structure crashed yesterday. Because Kamala is now the presumptive nominee, and nobody got to vote for her. Now, what's really interesting and amusing is literally any other Democrat who ran for president in 2020 and lost that primary to Joe Biden, or ran in the primary and lost the primary to Joe Biden this year. Literally every single other one got votes. They lost, right? And you can talk about how shady the loss was. You can go back and look at 2016 and 2020 Democrat primaries and see how Bernie got screwed by the Democrats. They just decided, no, yeah, you can vote for whoever you want except this guy. You can't vote for this guy. And now we've got Raskin out here yesterday saying, okay, hey, if Donald Trump wins this election, we will use the power. We will use government power on January, and he specifically said on January 6th, and we will stop him from taking office. And I'm seeing a bunch of people out here like, oh, look at Raskin says they're going to do an insurrection. Oh, he says that's not an insurrection, right? The January 6th Trump protest thing, that was a gathering, that was a peaceful assembly. A handful of people got out of hand, and there was a tiny little riot on the other side of the building from where the main body assembled. That was not an insurrection. The thing that Raskin is describing doing in January, so that was a peaceful assembly, and especially in the context of a world where we have fiery but mostly peaceful protests. January 6th was a mostly peaceful protest with a little bit of Antifa and FBI, right? You got some feds and some Antifis. What Raskin is suggesting that the government will take specific steps to prevent Donald Trump from taking office, assuming he wins the election in November. What Raskin is suggesting is a coup. In fact, what he's explicitly doing, because he said we, is he is admitting on camera that there is a conspiracy of government agents, of elected officials, to conduct a coup in the U.S. government, assuming the election doesn't go the way they want it to go. If you don't vote for Kamala, or if we fail to steal it for Kamala in November, then, yeah, we're just going to coup him out. Now, we know that they're comfortable with this. Remember Pelosi being caught on camera at the beginning of 2021, asking the Joint Chiefs, hey, what can we do? What can we do to make sure that Trump doesn't give any orders to the military? Hey, can you guys just ignore any orders that the president might give? Hey, if Donald Trump orders you to use a nuclear weapon before the inauguration, you can ignore that order, right? And the Joint Chiefs were like, that's called a military coup, because it is. So how did this crash the market? Right? Because we've got this article from the New York Post, and they're absolutely right to make the claim. Okay, Trump brands stock market tumble, the Kamala crash. And Kamala crash, spelled Kamala, Krash, was trending all day yesterday. And it is still trending today. But Trump brand stock market tumble, the Kamala crash. Former President Donald Trump on Monday labeled a sharp drop in the stock market the Kamala crash, linking the ascension of Vice President Harris as the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. Okay, so the fact is this. After the debate, when it became painfully clear that if Joe Biden continued to be the nominee, that Donald Trump would be the next president of the United States of America, there was a sharp uptick in the global markets, in all global markets. And we even got commentary from Biden and Harris and their campaigns. Well, not really from Biden. I mean, he hasn't said anything on his own in years. But we got commentary from their campaigns about, hey, look what a good job Bidenomics is doing for the economy. It's like, y'all don't understand how speculation works, do you? Because what you're looking at there is Donald Trump mopped the floor with Joe Biden, and the speculator said, oh, thank God, they're going to get rid of the communists and things are going to start making money again like they did under Trump. Cool. Let's start investing. Let's start buying some shares and investing and getting ready to take advantage of the stock market when it takes off after Trump gets reelected. And Sergeant Major points out, yesterday was day 3 of the crash. It started last Thursday. The total drop is double what we saw yesterday. Correct. Thanks for pointing that out, old man. But yesterday, of course, is when it started making the news for like really being in the news, and that's so. Like, and yesterday we had other shit to talk about. So of course there's a massive market downturn. Kamala's even worse than Crooked Joe. Trump 78. Of course they have to include that. Kind of like how they always have to tell you what Tommy Robinson's real name is. Wrote on social media Monday morning after the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged 1,000 points in morning trading after closing down more than 600 points on Friday. Yeah, see, there's those numbers you were talking about, old man. Markets will never accept the radical left lunatic that destroyed San Francisco and California as a whole. Next move, the Great Depression of 2024. You can't play games with markets. Kamala crash, Trump added. Jesus, look at that bitch. The stock market sell-off is linked by economists to a weaker than expected jobs growth report released Friday morning. We have been told repeatedly that Bidenomics is working for us, that everybody's doing great. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but it costs me 60 or 70 bucks every time I fill up my pickup truck. Right? Have you been to McDonald's recently? No, you haven't, because it's hard to get out of there for less than 15 bucks. But it's supposed to be, you try to go to Mickey D's, you're looking to hit the dollar menu and get out quick because I've got shit to do. Nope. It's hard to get out of there for less than $10, for less than $15. Right, and I'm not talking about getting a fluffy coffee and a milkshake on the order either. I hit flipping Chick-fil-A, the Lord's Chicken the other day, a sandwich, a sandwich combo. So I got an unsweet tea with it, and a peachy milkshake, and that was $20. Right, it was insane. That's Bidenomics. Right, you have to take a $20 bill to McDonald's is Bidenomics. You can't manage your weekly commute for less than half of your earnings is Bidenomics. Because I know y'all are out there. Several years ago, when I was going back to college after I got out of the Army, and I was going back to college for chuckles. Rob Hova just came from McDonald's. 2 doubles and a tea cost me $11. See, it's insane. But when I went back to college after I got out of the Army, and for a little bit, I did the Lyft and Uber thing, as it was something I could, pick up an extra, 40 or 50 bucks between classes. It was not a bad little gig. But I drove people who lived near me in Conyers to the Popeyes or the McDonald's near the college I was going to in Jonesboro, right? We're talking about, a 30 or 40 minute drive. And, this was like a $35, it's like a $35, $40 ride all with Uber. And that's what I was getting paid for the drive. So, I know they're paying at least another 10 or 20% over that. So you're talking about somebody paying $50 to go to work at McDonald's, and and we're not talking like the general manager or manager. We're talking about the fry cooks and the burger flippers. And, we're talking about guys that are making $12-15 an hour, maybe going to work for, I hope they're working for a full 8 hours at that rate. But, that means that your first 2 to 3 hours of work cover the cost to get there. To get there. Not to get there and home. Not to get there and back. That's insane. I'm sorry, that's a long tangent. So I want you to remember, back on the topic. Kamala said, when you vote. Hey, oh wait. Megan says the boys say hello, everybody. Hey boys, good. I'm glad y'all are watching with mommy. Y'all be good, and hey, I can't wait to see you guys again soon. I want to hear all about how the homeschooling thing is working out for you guys. I know you just got started, but I'm super excited about you guys going down that path. I hope it works out. I know it's going to work out great for you. Anyway, back to this. So I want you guys to remember that after the last election, after the 2020 election was stolen, Kamala said elections have consequences, and when you vote, you vote for what you want. And in this case, you got what you asked for. Well, even assuming that it was a legitimate election and the majority of Americans wanted Biden and Harris in office, I find it very difficult to believe. And I know. Obviously, people like Biden and Harris and the elected Democrats in the party, they hate you. They want you to suffer. They want your bills to be higher. They want to impoverish you and cause you harm so that you vote for them, because they don't believe that you're intelligent enough to understand that they caused the harm and the problems on which they run to solve. Boy, that was a big old truck going by. Rob says, still to this day, haven't met a person who voted during the prelim for Biden. Yeah, no shit. Fee says most people don't realize they're voting for lower faith in the economy. Yeah. So she said elections have consequences. You get what you ask for. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that what you think they asked for is for you to crash your economy. Now, we keep hearing all this, oh, well, Joe's created all these jobs. He's created all these jobs. Okay. Roughly half of the jobs that he's created, for one, you're talking about coming off of the COVID lockdowns, right? We're not talking about the 2020 lockdowns. Now, 2020 was a fucking disaster. It really was. It was a disaster. But by the end of 2020, people were going back to work. A lot of businesses went under in 2020. But then after Biden got elected, a lot more lockdowns happened again. And then there were the vaccine mandates. The mandates did not happen under Trump. In fact, the mandates so clearly didn't happen under Trump that if you'll recall, what did happen is the vaccine that was developed through the use of Project Warp Speed or Operation Warp Speed or whatever it was, right? Trump moved regulations to expedite the development of a vaccine for COVID-19. And the FDA approvals for the emergency use authorizations came out a week after the election. So after Joe Biden was declared the winner of that election, and like immediately after, within a week, then they came out with the authorizations because they were all in bed. That honestly, that right there should be investigated as a conspiracy to defraud the American people or a conspiracy to interfere with the American elections, or both. I mean, that right there was part of something seriously fucking crooked. But the point being, right, then Biden gets in office and we start seeing the mandates. We had people thrown out of the military. We had careers ruined. We had customers businesses shut down over the vaccine mandate thing. The guys over at the Daily Wire, I watch their content. They're a little squishy for me on most of their politics, but they do produce good content and they do a good job of pulling up the data. But on this, they sued the federal government over the vaccine mandates and won. They had a lot to do with shutting that shit down. But basically what you got to understand is, to the extent that Joe Biden gets credit for creating any jobs, he refilled jobs that he personally and intentionally destroyed. And around half of those jobs that he has created are government jobs. And if there's anything that you need to take away from this conversation, that you need to understand about economics, with the possible exception of military personnel, and that exception alone, every government job is the same as deleting the economic production of any other job from the economy, at best. The majority of government jobs are economically the same as deleting several jobs from the economy. No government job produces value, and all government jobs cost wealth which is not replaced by their destructive existence. Let me see what we got here. Oh, Fee says they also don't realize what kind of powers the POTUS actually has. They either think they're getting a figurehead or the next American Idol of politicians. That's... yes. And that first sentence, they also don't realize what kind of powers the POTUS actually has. I would amend that to, they don't understand the kind of powers the POTUS actually has. And by they, I mean the voters. But let me go to the POTUS and the VP for a second. They absolutely understand the powers that the president has. Those two people do. And they don't care. They're more than happy. They're more than happy to simply ignore the law, ignore the Constitution. They don't care what the actual authorities of the president are. We keep hearing about the debt forgiveness. And that right there, this is why, okay. Joe Biden has said clearly, I don't care what the Supreme Court said. I understand that the Constitution says I do not have the authority to do X, Y, and Z. And by X, Y, and Z, I'm not trying to be intentionally vague. Specifically, to forgive student debts, and to do the vaccine mandates, and he said it about the eviction moratorium in support of the CDC letting renters basically steal homes. So Biden has been very clear. I don't care what the law is. I don't care what the Supreme Court said. I've decided that the president can just do what he wants. Obama was bad about this too, but to his credit, while Obama was happy to just completely flaunt his authority and ignore the law and break the law and simply do things that were clearly and obviously against the law, birthright citizenship stuff, the dreamers stuff, all of that crap. Obama was more than happy to simply break the law. And other Democrats have been too, Bill Clinton, etc. Democrats have been very happy to just break the law and expect to get away with it. Biden's the first one that I can point to and say, no, this motherfucker came out and said, I'm doing it. Right? Understand this. What Biden has done as far as discussing his intent to and explicit decision to break the law. This is equivalent to going into a gas station with a pistol, pointing your pistol at the attendant and saying, give me all your money or I'll shoot. And then while you're waiting for the attendant to pack the bag for you, you pull out your personal cell phone, dial 911 and say, yeah, hey, this is Chris and I'm robbing the Circle K on the corner of 138 and Parker. So send the cops and make sure you give them a copy of this recording because fuck you. Because it's literally contacting the authority, in this case the voter and the Supreme Court, and telling them this is the crime that I'm committing right now. I dare you to do something about it. Waller says you don't hate your government enough. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. It's hard to hate them enough. It really is. So, the fact is, the crash is happening because the speculators see Kamala as having a chance of winning. And the most generous polls in favor of Kamala right now put her at about a 50-50. Right? The hard lefty polls that are built on wishful thinking give her about a 50-50 chance. I would say that 50-50 is probably pretty legit as far as predictions go right now, because Republicans are bad about voting. And guys, that's something we're gonna have to work on. Get up off your ass and go vote, because it fucking matters. Right? Remember the whole thing about 11,000 votes? I could probably point to 11,000 people who decided not to show up for the special election in Georgia that got us stuck with Warnock and Ossoff after 2020 because they let those two Democrat schmuck lawyers come out and tell them, oh, the Kraken. Don't vote. You should protest the corruption in the voting system by refusing to participate. Shut the fuck up. Go vote. Or you lose. If you don't go vote, you lose. It's Pascal's wager. Okay? It's that simple. If it is the case that the vote is rigged and your vote doesn't matter and you go and vote, you didn't lose anything that you weren't already going to lose anyway. However, if it is the case that the vote is not completely corrupted, and it is possible for you to win by voting for your candidate, and you don't, then you have chosen the opposition. It's Pascal's wager. It's not complicated. It's 4 quadrants. It's the prisoner's dilemma, easily broken down. You can choose to vote or you can choose to lose. Right? It's not a question of you don't choose to vote or not vote. You choose to either vote or surrender, to lose. Right? You're 2 guys staring at each other, each of you's holding a pistol, and you're asking yourself, do I pull the trigger? Yes! Yes, you pull the trigger. He may or may not. But there's not a situation where you both pull it and you come and you pull the trigger. Rob points out the DNC hasn't even happened yet. That's correct. The convention hasn't happened yet. I'm not sure we should even consider spending our time with Harris. We'll see. Rob also says you pull it first. That's right. I think Captain Malcolm Reynolds said it best. If somebody tries to kill you, you kill them right back. That's you have a right to kill them to try and kill them right back. Personally, I've always liked to think of the golden rule, do unto others first. Do unto others first. So, Pit Danny says, look out for Michelle. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see it. Okay. We're done. Show's over. I'm gonna try to find this this clip though. If I can find this clip real quick. This was rock solid. If I can find it, I'll share it with you, because Pit Danny said vote Harris out. Oh, here. Y'all enjoy this one for a second.
Kool-Aid. Yeah. This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid. Yeah. This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid. Yeah.
This made me laugh, so I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. Oh. Oh. Apparently, that's a thing that happened. One of the Olympic pole vaulters got his junk hung up on the pole, and that prevented him from being able to finish his jump. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there. I'm gonna put a pin in it because I gotta get over to the farm. Y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching this morning. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.